Uh, so this is lecture number 2. We discussed about client-server architecture in the beginning. So this slide represents client-server architecture. Now, what is client-server architecture? We need to understand that. And you will see on the slide, if the pictures are small, you can drag it to expand the size. The basic purpose of client-server architecture, you can enable it to change anything, the size, to drag it and make it bigger. These are all pictures. In a software company, how does it work? Like how software works, you need to understand. You have a network, computer network, and that network architecture is called the client-server architecture. So you have server, which provides the service, and the client machine that gets the service. Okay, and then the requests are there. So here you can see on the left, client who needs service. So let's say application is there, and what is the application? We already talked about it. Web application is nothing but a web page. You go to eBay. eBay has set of web pages together, and that is web page software or web application, you can say. And then that client wants to go there, so it needs service, when it types ebay.com through internet, it gets connected to the server and sends the request that I want to see the page, and it requires authentication and does all the checks, and then it provides all the options for selecting a product and do the business transaction. Now all the eBay web pages are on web servers. Okay, web servers, and this server's responsibility, these have capability to serve this client. So provide services, whatever it needs, and does all the business transactions. There is a machine called a load balancer. It can be a server. It's just, for example, it's like that load balancer. What it does, whenever request comes, based on the request, it goes to multiple servers, because so many requests comes from worldwide, and only one machine cannot serve. So on a web application like eBay or Amazon, they have huge number of servers, and the load balancer, what it does, request comes, and based on the load, it directs the client's request. And database that is there. So you have web application. Now how many numbers of applications are there, products are there, that everything is stored in the database server, and it connects with the web server, connects with the database server and provides all the information to the client. Now client cannot directly access the database server through a web application, and all the security stuff are there. So mainly simple architecture means, like whenever an application is built or a web application is built, like you want to know how you will implement this. You have client machine, you have internet, you have web server, you have database server, and then people will be connecting through internet to your web servers, where all the .NET application, Java application will be built. It's nothing but web pages, and web page will interact with database server and will provide the information, and client will get that, and all the business transaction will be done through web servers. Now this is another picture that we have, and you can just drag that and see. It's the same thing, but it represents better application server, web server, and then database server. Load balancer is also a server, and these are clients who's sending requests. Browser is one of them, or you have mobile devices, and then through local ISP, which is like Verizon, they're connecting to all the web servers, and load balancer just direct users to different servers. So that is about it. Next slide, we have how many type of servers are there. As I said, server's responsibility is to provide services. We have file server. In a network, file server, what it does, you have just like this first image that we showed. You have request from in an organization, let's say there are 100 people who works and they need to print something. So instead of web server, it will be a print server, and client will request through network, and not internet here, through network, and they will be able to print that. This is an example of print server. You can see printers are there. We can expand that a little bit more. So print server there, a printer is attached to this server, and all the requests from these two are clients sending requests to this server, and it's printing. Okay, so this server is treated as print server. So same like that, you have file server. So file server, what will be, instead of this machine on the side, the server will have a location, and that will be a network, a device or something, or it will, you won't be able to, it's just logical thing, and there will be attached server as well. So that server will provide service to these clients. These are our client machine, like you and me working on an office, and this is a server machine where all the servers, all the files will be put in here, and everybody can see from here, whoever is the network. This is a network, so it's just the design of the network. You can say all the computers are connected, and it's getting service from there. It can this can see from file server or print server. All the information can be shared. File server's work is like sharing files, like Microsoft Office file or Excel file or flat file, like text file. One can put it in one location and everybody can see it and share from there. And you may say, okay, I can share from my computer. It's not safe. Like, you don't want like your machine to be accessed, and it's easier as well. And space is matter. You have limitation. This server has enough space. Application server, we talked about it. File transfer, FTP server, it provides secure file transfer between computers. File transfer, so it provides the service to transfer file between one server to another server. Same about application server. We already talked about application server and database server that in previous picture that we have here. This is application server, web server you can say, and this is the database server, which is on the right side you can say, or here you can see the database server as well, DB servers. Okay, all the databases are there, and as I said before, database server, customer cannot connect directly to database server. Application server, web server will be connecting to that and will provide the data to the customer. Okay, so domain server. Domain is very important thing. We would like to discuss about the domain. So what is domain? Domain is nothing but it's a range or group of computers. You can say server, and then a client machine in an organization. So let's say you have a company and you have set of servers and set of client machine, all are connected to one network. The whole thing is a domain, and now the thing is, everybody can get into your network, and you don't want that. So to secure that, you have a server that is domain server. What it does is like it creates user, and then it creates kind of virtual ring or something, and then means a ring means nothing but network. It creates a network, and then it creates a user. So anybody is connected to that ring or network, they have to provide their authentication, username and password that is created by a domain server, and they will be able to connect there. So here is the picture of a domain controller server. You can see here a domain controller, and on this domain controller, what it does is it creates the network. Okay, and then network means a virtual. Now everything is connected. Now the thing is, so it creates a range of like computers that can be connected to this environment, to a organizational network. So it creates a user here, and this can get into this network. And then also for server, the machine is added. Okay, it has information about every machine, every server that is there, and it authenticates and allows to come into the domain. The whole network is a domain, and this is domain server. It creates a user and allows everybody, servers, clients, to get connected on that domain, on that network. Now the server that provides the service creates users and creates computers. Like a server, to get into the network, it has to be a member of this domain. All authentication check and all grant access is done by this server for any server or any computers on the network. So that is domain server's role. It's very important thing. You will hear the term over and over. Thanks. Let's talk about other servers. We have web server. We already talked about it. All the web pages are there and provide services to see the web page when the request comes from client, and like any website you can see there. Proxy server makes sure that whenever somebody comes to a network, it's authenticated user, and not an unknown person can come and hack anything. So to protect that, this proxy server is used. It's also called firewall. These terms are used frequently together. Mail server, whenever you will be working on an organization, or you work on an organization, you see Outlook, Microsoft Outlook, and you can see all the emails coming back and forth. So this service is provided by mail server, and one of the mail server Microsoft has is Exchange server. So I have some definitions here as well. And then database server is like all the databases are there. It holds database and then provides service to keep the data, update, modify all the services a database has. We will also study details on database. Virtual server, you will hear the term virtual server. It's very important. Now it's a conceptual thing. Like you have one physical server, like just your laptop, if you consider that as a computer, but you can make this computer as like 4 computers, and you can grant access to 4 members, and with their own screen or monitor, all can use your laptop as their own laptop. So one laptop can be used as 4 laptops. So that concept is called virtual server. That you have one physical server, you will make it 4 servers on the top of it. It's a virtual server, but it will act just like a server, and then 4, 5 virtual servers, or 6 virtual, whatever number of virtual server you want to make, you can just make that virtual servers, and it can be used as a server. Now resources will be shared, so the performance will vary. So virtual server basically not used for production, it's used for testing and non-prod stuff. Now client computer, we already talked about client computer. Any laptop that is connected to a network and asking for service to a server, that is basically client computer. In a network, our machines are all client machine. In an organization, people work on their own workstation or computers or laptops. These are all client computers.